Okay, can you guys hear me? I wasn't seeing anybody's response come through in the chat, so I wasn't seeing this. But it looks like we got Sam Mickens on here. Um, we got Jerome. We got Young Mix. Can you guys hear me? I'm talking. Is the audio? Let's see. Hold on. Let me test the audio real quick here. Audio should be working. Okay, cool. Audio is great. Can you hear us? No, I can't hear you guys. All right. I can see you texting though. I can see you texting in the chat. All right, cool. Audio is great. All right, there goes my all of my chat stuff. Okay, cool. All right. Let me go ahead and get started. If something pops up, just text me in the live chat until we kind of can get the hang of this. Also, if the quality of the video is a bit off, tap your screen, and then in the right hand corner you'll see 3 little dots. Go ahead and hit those dots on YouTube, and then you could change the picture quality. So you could try that to adjust it. All right. No, Jerome, I can't hear you guys. All right. So let me go ahead and kind of go over the market real quick. Let's start off with IWM. A big gap down. Looks like price is retesting the 155 EMA. Let me zoom in a bit. All right. So we're trading underneath the lower Bollinger Band. So definitely we're in a downtrend. The only question is price going to bounce off of this 215 to 214 level, which has been really strong for IWM in the past? You can see we got a couple support levels there in addition to this dynamic support level of that 155 EMA. So definitely one to watch that may bounce here off of this level. No trade here, I would say, but definitely we need to continue to observe. All right, SPY. Remember, excuse me. Remember, I went ahead and cut my August 18th SPY 444s. All right, my 444 puts. Those were down. SPY was down to 441 earlier today. My man Sam Mickens hit 700% on those. I can't even tell you what percentage I hit, but I did smack this though. And price fell down to 441 before bouncing. Now, the question is, are we going to get some follow through tomorrow, right? Is SPY going to kind of continue to melt and drop all the way down towards the lower band? That has been the pattern that we have been seeing. However, price may have simply just pulled back to support here at the 441 and is now looking to try to bounce off of this. So, we got to just kind of stay on toes as far as, shorting stuff. All right. With that being said, let's actually go ahead and take a look at VIX real quick. See what volatility is doing. All right. I have been telling you guys I was waiting for volatility to push up into the 18 range. Looks like we made our way all the way up to the upper band today at 1961. But, we got rejected off of this 155 EMA earlier today. The question is, are buyers continuing to step into volatility? Is this thing over yet? So what we need to do is we got to...
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Oh, we got to wait. We got to be patient, and we got to wait for... price, to tell us what's going to happen next. Right now, it's anybody's guess, to be perfectly honest. If we could break above 20, then obviously the market's going to go further down. VIX is going to head towards 22 and then 25. But if we kind of stay trapped in between this level, maybe this will top out and start to roll back over. And, then price for the indices should kind of go up. But where we are kind of right now is anybody's guess. We're basically trapped between 20 and 16, and that's been basically the story here for volatility, kind of like forever. And as you guys know, all of this has basically led to a bullish environment, except for when we've gotten these kind of spikes here, right? But for the most part, we're looking like, status quo, right? Price will let us know when it's bottomed. In the meantime, there's no point on trying to kind of, catch the dip. All right. All right. Let's kind of take a look at what's on the uptrend scanner, what that's catching. All right. Not too much. A couple of names, nothing for us to really identify any trends or where money is being moved into a particular sector. So we'll go ahead and move on. Let's take a look at the bottom scanner. And then let's also, after that, let's take a look at the unusual options, see if there's anything jumping there. So with the bottom scanner so far, only thing that really stands out is pins. I'm kind of done trading pins and snap. So let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Let's move towards unusual options, see if there's anything there. Let me sort this by alpha real quick. All right. Baidu, we got nothing there. Just got one contract they're looking at. Myrna. We could definitely look at Myrna. Myrna contracts are usually too expensive, though, for us to get into. Right now, that's looking like about the only one as far as the unusual option scanner for us to get into. Remember, feel free to type any questions into the chat if you guys can, and I'll definitely address it. Let's take a look at Myrna real quick. All right, I'm not really seeing anything here. Price is really trapped in between the two bands. And, we got enough charts that we could look at like this. So let's go ahead and pass on that Myrna. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look back at Pfizer. That boy Sam Mickens bought the dip on this Pfizer. So maybe that shit worked out for the kid. All right. Pfizer was interesting all day. I got to say, if price closes over 50, you got to think that this is going to keep pushing. All right. It definitely got rejected really hard off of this 50 level earlier today. All right. Price was down to 49 and change. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, hopefully, folks got an opportunity to get out above 50. But if we can close above 50 by the end of the day, there's definitely an opportunity for continuation. However, I will say, remember this. Every time that Pfizer gives us a big unexpected day, it usually takes a break, at least for 2 days, right? So here's the first example. We got a nice 1.5 point candle, 2 days of rest, all right? We got a nice little movement up. This candle printed here, and we got a 1.80 move over the course of the day. And then we had a 3-day rest, all right? Then we had Pfizer continue to push on. This was a big day right here. I think this was almost 3 points. It was 2.7. We had a 2-day rest after that. Now we have another nice little move. Today, Pfizer is giving us a 1.75 move today. All right. So don't be surprised or shocked if Pfizer goes ahead and stays underneath 50 the next 2 days, or even if it kind of just chops sideways for the next 2 days. Because that is typically the pattern. Gives you a nice Big Daddy move, and then it cools off for a couple of days. Nice Big Daddy move, cools off for a couple of days. Nice move, cooled off. All right, so look for more of the same right here for price to cool off the next couple of days. I would more or less just be happy with the fact that price closed above 50 or even made it to 50 today in the first place. Nice work, Sam Mickens. I see you flexing. I see the flex. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Apple. That's really been big dog today. This is another one that, we got to keep our eyes on. What I need to think about with this one is when is going to be the opportunity for us to trade it short term. Long term, I don't really have a problem with that. I'm cool with our September 17 calls and us just kind of riding that out. Yeah, Jerome, I'll check session after this Apple chart for sure. All right. What we want to see on Apple is basically for price to continue to hold the upper Bollinger Band. And then I'll take a look at the Neo put too. What we want is for Apple to basically hold this upper Bollinger Band. We got our first entry signal here on Wednesday. Actually, yeah, on what is this? Thursday. On Thursday. This is Thursday, Friday, Monday. All right. So if you entered into this on Thursday and you didn't get shaken out yesterday with this little down move here, then this is still looking pretty good. Today would really just be considered a sideways day. I would say ideally you want to see price close above 150 again. You know, that's the key level we're looking for. And then above this, we're just waiting for price to get towards 157.50 or to the 158 level. That would be target one. All right. So I'm going to chill on calling anything short term. But if you still want to take a look at Apple, September 17 calls for the 155 or the 160 strike, then I'm definitely good with that. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, for my boy Jerome, let's go over session real quick. I don't know this name, so what is this? A bio company. All right. Man, bro, I'm not really seeing much here, Jerome, to be honest. This huge candle right here is a big washout. So what we were to do is this. If we were to trade this, we draw a level here. Hold on. Let me switch over to my support levels. One sec. All right. So what we do, Jerome, is we take a look at this big candle right here, this huge washout candle, and we draw a level here at the close. All right. I think the close is 211. So here, let me just adjust this line real quick. What got rejected by the FDA? Sam Hunter, was that Pfizer? All right, we'll take a look at that in just a sec. Oh, you might be talking about this bio company here. Got it. All right, so the way that we play this, Jerome, is we draw a line or draw a level at the close of this big washout candle. Let me zoom in on this. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Hold up. All right, there we go. All right, this huge washout candle, we want to draw a line at this close, at the close of this candle. And basically, we can't really get involved here until price gets back over this level at 211. So below 211, this is still pretty much under pressure or looking for it to continue down. If we can get back above 211, now you're potentially looking at support and for price to go ahead and move higher. All right. But what I would do is I would just wait until this level can get reclaimed. And then you can start to take a look at this session chart. But until then, under 211, I'm a pass. All right. Let me take a look at NEO. Hopefully you guys are still able to follow along pretty close. All right, let's take a look at NEO. Okay, so with NEO has been trapped in this sideways area from 47 to, let's call it 39.50. All right, so it's been trapped in between these 7 points for a bit. All right, let me back up just a little bit. All right, so it's been trapped in between this level from basically 47 to 39.50 since early July. This is like July the 8th, July the 9th. All right, so we've been going sideways, sideways, sideways. So you'd have to think if price finally can get below this, I mean, shit, we should expect a 7-point move to the downside. You know, that's what should happen, you know, according to our box breakout rules. So if that's the case, with us finally getting a break and a close below 39.50 yesterday, I mean, we should just go ahead and drift on down towards 34, then potentially the target of 32. I mean, that's what I would be looking for. The only question is, when is it going to hit? Now, so far, price hasn't really just fallen through the floor like the way that I would have wanted it to be perfectly honest. So, you know, we continue to kind of have these like, you know, feelings of indecision, I would think, or just kind of like, you know, wait and see. Looking at this from the daily, I mean, we got gap down after gap down after gap down. I would be looking for another gap down tomorrow. So if I were still in Neo puts, I would give these at least one more day before deciding to cut these or not. And then maybe if I were in a profit tomorrow and I still wanted to be involved in Neo puts, maybe I'd roll out to, maybe I'd give myself another week. Like I'd roll out to August 27th or maybe even like September 3rd, and I'd start taking a look at those. And that's more or less like the way of how I would be looking to play Neo. All right. Yeah, big nice bear flag. That's right, Sam Mickens. This whole move right here, right? This is the flag pole, and then it may need to flag over just a little bit in order for price to kind of like bunch up before rolling over. But definitely, you know, Neo is for sure, you know, a breakdown. There's no other way for us to really paint it. And you could also say potentially, like we did earlier, is also potentially a head and shoulders, with this left little area of price action here being the left shoulder, this being the head, and this whole little right area being the right shoulder. So if we can stay below 39.50, then boom, I can't see why we won't push down towards 34, if not 32. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We just got to be a little bit patient. It's just hasn't been the smoothest move, to be perfectly honest, but let's see what happens, all right? But yeah, I would definitely give this one more day. I'll be waiting for a gap down tomorrow. And then, like I've been saying, for the most part, by the end of tomorrow, I want to be out of puts. All right. So market's still bullish. We read the earnings report, earnings whisperer report today, and they're still bullish overall. You know what I mean? The report overall was like 90% bullish. So let's just continue to respect the game, and we got to be bank robbers when it comes to these puts. All right. But definitely, I'm not mad at that. Let's take a look at Tesla since Sam Mickens brought it up. Let's look at that real quick. Let me zoom in. All right, this is the one chart that I wish we would have played yesterday. All right, where price was basically at 705 and we were stuck in some calls from up here. Right, we had taken calls. We had thought price was holding pretty firm above the upper band, as well as the 715 level. So by all accounts, things were looking pretty good. Now we did break 725 for a little bit. We went all the way up to 730. We got rejected, and then from there it was a wrap. All right, price opened up here on Monday. We got a little pop to the upside that allowed us to kind of exit at a loss, and then after that, this thing just melted and went all the way down to the lower band. So now at this point, we need to see if price is done falling or not. Whenever price pulls back, it's real easy to try to step in and say, hey, you know, I'm going to catch the bottom here and try to, you know, anticipate when a bounce is going to happen. But it's normally a better policy just to go ahead and allow price to show you. So, you know, the last time that we had a dip, okay, it was always best to get involved once price broke above the high of the previous day's candle, and then it went. All right, so with this particular scenario on Tesla, we really wouldn't be interested in looking at calls until price could get back over 675. And even with that, we'd still be looking for price to go up to 715, just kind of retest the upper band. But right now, Tesla's still under pressure. This is not looking healthy. And they're being investigated by the government because of the autopilot system that they have. So who knows how much more pressure that puts on this chart. I mean, shit, maybe we fall back down to 620 next, to be perfectly honest. All right, we're still getting a bit weaker, so there's no reason why we can't continue to fall to another level. So just be patient. Really no trade here on Tesla at the moment. All right. Let me take a look at, let me take a look at AMD. You guys still with me? Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's going to be that gap fill soon. All right. All right. Let's take a look at AMD. This one I've been kind of going back and forth with, to be honest, right? So I look at it and I say, hey, all right, this 105 level. All right, appreciate it. What up, Money Wade? I'll look at this 105 or really this 106 level, right? 105.74, 106. and I say, damn, are we trying to bounce here? You know what I mean? Are we trying to like, find some support? But then at the same time, if I ask myself, okay, well, if I'm bearish, how am I seeing this? And then I would look at it and I would say, well, shit, we went up to 111, we got smacked. That don't mean we're done falling just quite yet. I mean, we could just as easily fall to 103 and then, 100. So I'm going to continue to stick to my guns on this one and pretty much say the line in the sand is 105.74. If we find ourselves on a gap down tomorrow and prices below 105.74, then let's go ahead and step into AMD 103 puts. All right. But remember, we'll be trying to cut those by the end of the day. But also be aware that there is the possibility it could fall all the way down to 100. Because if I zoom out just a little bit, you'll see we have yet to retest that level. And, that will most definitely make sense. All right. For price to fall all the way back down to 100. Find some major buyers there, looking for a good discount. I mean, shit, if price fell to, 100, I'd be looking for a discount myself and trying to jump into these AMDs because, when this thing runs, I mean, it's like, it's a turbocharger. It just goes. So, anyway, no trade here right now for AMD, but, we are still watching. The line in the sand is 105.74. If we find ourselves below that, then we'll take a look at puts for this week, 103 to 100s. And then on the flip side, I don't really have a long play here just yet. If we were to go long, I would want price to be, over 111 kind of convincingly. So that's what kind of I would need to see here. At minimum over yesterday's high, which was 111.58. All right, so a pause as far as AMD goes, as far as like loading up. But let's see if it doesn't fall a bit more tomorrow. That's what I'd be looking for there. All right, I talked about Boeing a little bit in the chat as far as the earnings whisper report. What they were basically showing was that industrials were making an attempt to break out last week, right? So this is where we kind of got this price action here. Industrials were being loaded up. We had the infrastructure bill get signed, and we had a positive reaction for builders or manufacturers as a result of that. And with Boeing being, a plane manufacturer, it got a bid, right? Meaning, buyers stepped in and they kind of bought it up. Well, this week, it looks like all of that positive news has been kind of eaten up, or investors basically took profit and ran price all the way back down to where we started. So now, we need to let, either another positive story kind of creep into the market about, planes, travel, manufacturing, or something to that degree, or either we need to let big money begin to rotate back into industrials to cause that breakout to happen. So if you look through the earnings whisper report, you'll see that industrials is it's in a bull flag and it's attempting to break out, but it's being held up at resistance. Well, we need to see some additional buyers kind of step in and then push that thing up for names like Boeing to, get some money flowing into them. So for right now, I don't want to short Boeing, but there is a possibility that we try to fill this gap right here. All right, there is a possibility we try to fill this gap. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at just staying patient at Boeing. And if price fills the gap and we kind of miss this down move, that's fine. But I'm really interested in kind of grabbing this for the upside, to be perfectly honest. So let's just wait around for that. All right. I can't wait to snatch Boeing up to the upside, to be perfectly honest. All right. Here's the other short that we've been looking at. Now, you know what? I just kind of noticed something. Here's a really good example. So previously, Beyond was stuck in this range right here. So take a look back, starting back in March, right? We kind of had a move off of 126, price bounced up to 150 and stayed within that range for a while, right? The range got a little bit tighter, price went back to 126, but this time instead of pushing all the way up to 150, it got held up at 140, okay? So price basically went from 126 to 140 for a while, okay? Then finally, boom, 126 broke, And then just, this whole thing just fell out of bed. It just collapsed. It gave us a nice 25-point move. That's most definitely what I'm hoping for and looking for here with Beyond this time around, right? So what do we have? We have price came down to 120 instead of 126, bounced up to 132/134, all right? And now we're stuck in between that range until yesterday when we broke down. So what I'm hoping is that we get a nice reaction the same way that we have in the past. Let me zoom back out again. All right, the same way that we have in the past, and this thing picks up speed and accelerates. All right, so I'm not being too greedy. I'm just looking for price to fall down to 110 and fill this previous gap here from May 21st. All right, that's what I would love to happen. So I myself personally, I bought August 20. So for this week, I bought August 20 110 puts for Beyond, and basically just looking for price to fill that gap, man. I mean, that's all I can say. This trade is in motion. It just hasn't like completely fallen through the floor just quite yet. But let's take a look at the contracts real quick. Hold up. All right, so the 110s are 27 cents. I bought mine for 31 cents yesterday. So these are holding value pretty good. All right, so I would say, that's one thing to consider. I like the 115s better. I will say that. I definitely like the 115s better. But for the moment, I think I'm good with just testing the waters out with these 110s. And then maybe if things accelerate and start pushing to the downside tomorrow, maybe then I'll go ahead and step into some 115s as well and kind of add to my position. But continue to watch this Beyond close. I'm not mad at you if you don't hop into it with puts right now, just because, it's still kind of hanging on by a thread. But definitely one to watch, right? And you just looking at the previous behavior, price got chopped up right here, stayed sideways, 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 and then finally, boom, broke down, all right? Now, we are below the lower Bollinger Band, so we are joining the downtrend. So the only way to really trade this right now is to buy puts, all right? So just be aware, all right? So that's what I'm kind of thinking and looking at here from Beyond, all right? 115 puts or 110 puts for this week. Now, I'm not mad if you want to step into puts for next week, at 115, because that Beyond still might just be weak overall. All right. Yesterday and today, healthcare has been pretty hot. Let's take a look at the market watch again real quick. You can see red pretty much across the board everywhere except for healthcare, right? CVS is on here. United Health. Those are both healthcare providers as far as whether it be insurance or actual products for retail. You got Pfizer, leading the way as really getting the most green here today. And everything else healthcare related is just getting, a byproduct of money. Now, if you look at the earnings whisper report, healthcare has been getting a lot of money kind of flowed into that sector. I'm really not sure why it's been outperforming some of these other sectors. However, it doesn't really matter. Our job is really just to kind of follow the money. So, for right now, it's kind of hands off everything else, as you see. I just kind of wanted to paint the picture. And, we got to pick and choose as far as what we do get involved in. But healthcare for CVS, I mean, if you wanted to buy some strength, this one is making sense. Now, we noted it yesterday, and we noted that it had a breakout above this 85 level, which has been key. It's been capping the market all the way since, let's call it since June 17. So you got a 2-month breakout here after June and July, and now finally this thing is starting to go, all right? You got some volatility, meaning you got the green dots kind of rocking and rolling in your favor, or the Keltner bands plus the Bollinger bands. And you also got price kind of acting in your favor. Now, I'm pretty sure I called September 17s yesterday. And I believe I called, let's take a look at them. I believe these were like 90 cent, right? It was the 87.50s, or maybe it was even the 90s. But one of these two, they were 90 cent. And I'm sure since price has gone up since yesterday, more than likely it was the 87.50s. But if you want to take a look at hopping into CVS as far as the 90 calls. I could definitely get behind that. The market has about 4 to 5 points priced in between now and September 17. So us getting from 86 to 90 should be doable. So, just take a look at that chart. That's, that's strong right now. So we only really want to buy strength. And CVS and healthcare, they're both getting money added into those sectors. So just take a look at that. Dash. This is one that's kind of been playing games with me a little bit. Let's look at this. Man, I saw this candle right here. I saw this candle here on, what day is this? August the 13th. Nice, really strong, big, beautiful candle. We got a close above a key level here at 188. Let's call it 189. But then I was like, you know what? The market's kind of weak. Let's just chill and wait. And I'm glad I did because it was totally a pump fake. Today, it made an attempt to give us another pump fake. The last time I saw some shit like this, it was Uber and the trade just didn't work. Okay, so right now, with me just kind of remembering that, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it off of my watch list. And we'll take a look at Dash at another time, to be perfectly honest. All right. eBay. eBay, we called September 17 calls yesterday. Price was looking really good, like this thing wanted to just continue on up. Let me give it another day or two to work itself out to see if price doesn't continue to hold this key level of 73.54. And if we can, get some buyers to come back into this market, then I'll continue to hold that position. If not, if we start to break down or we continue to kind of chop sideways, then I'll probably go ahead and cut this early and, maybe come back to it later if this 73.54 level can be reclaimed. We could take a look at Clove for you, bro. Let's take a look at Clove for my man Jerome. Nothing happened to Clove, man. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. We got no volatility in this particular chart. So we got no real juice or gas in the engine for it to go. And to be perfectly honest, we may get a move coming in soon because the Bollinger Bands have kind of squeezed together so tight that price has to move one direction or the other sooner than later. Okay. But until price clearly shows you what direction that is, there's really nothing for you to do, bro. You got to just wait. All right. So from these squeezes, you generally get some type of move. So take a look back in the past, right? So look back here. The bands were stupid tight. Look how tight they were. And then boom, you got that move to the upside and price closed above the upper band. Now that move didn't hold, but it did kind of signal that the bulls were starting to take back over. So if you go back a little bit more, you can see, boom, the bulls came back, reasserted their dominance, and then you got a nice up move. Well, that's kind of where you are right here, right? You got a little pump fake here. Price moved above the upper band, but it was really bearish, right? So you kind of got to ignore that one. Wait until you get a nice size candle like this, Jerome, right here, right? Wait until that candle prints and, let it print because you're not going to miss anything. It's more or less a signal. You need to see that the sign is crystal clear before you can hop into this. All right. So wait until Clove prints some type of candle that carries price outside of the band, whether it's to the upside or the downside. And then you could probably start to follow it that direction. But for right now, this is a no-go or pretty much just a no trade. All right. Let me go over McDonald's because there's been a couple people watching that. And then I'll cover, what else? I'll cover T, and then I'll start going around the horn. So if you guys want, start sending me some names you want me to look at through the chat, and I'll cover those. And this will kind of be my way of going around the horn compared to how we used to do it. But definitely, start sending me some names in the chat if you guys want me to look at anything. All right. Looking at McDonald's though, there's a possibility we could go ahead and head up towards 242 tomorrow. I would need to see price get above 240.84 But for the most part, I would probably expect another day that kind of looks similar to what we have right now. Just another sideways day. Price is drifting higher. After 4 straight solid days of upward movement, you finally got a little bit of profit taking coming in here. Not a lot, because price is still holding this 239.50, but definitely, some folks took some money off of the table here. I would say the next best trade here on McDonald's is actually, bro, just to wait until price gets a close above 242. Now you're like, okay, cool, I can step back in because price is closed above the upper band, and we may be getting ready to start trending. All right. Now, I will say this for McDonald's though. Every time price is closed above the upper band, it gives you a continuation, right? So here's one example. Boom, closed above the upper band, moved higher. Here's the second example. Closed above the upper band, moved higher. Here's the third example. Closed above the upper band, moved higher. So, I mean, bro, I would just wait for the signal. Just wait until this shit closes above the upper band, and then I'd get back in, maybe even on some day trade shit, and I would be looking for price to push higher at that point. So definitely feel free to set an alert for 242 and then try to wait and watch for price to close above the upper band. And you just got to be okay leaving these few little dollars behind between 240 and 242. Just be comfortable with it. All right. But the better trade, I would say, is the one that's shown to work the last 3 times, which is wait for price to close above the upper band and then step into McDonald's. All right. So keep that one in mind. And when it does close above the upper band, be sure to let your boy B know so that I can hop into them joints too. All right. NVIDIA, I've been saying we're going to ignore this because of earnings. So let me skip past it. That was my fault. I see my boy Sam Mickens adding more Neo into the close. Let's see. Let me see. Let me look back at Neo. I got to look at it on that smaller time frame real quick, Sam Mickens, to check that out. Let me look at that for you real fast. All right. If you're still in Planeteer, we are still holding the upper Bollinger Band. I said this morning that we wanted to see price hold the 2410 level, or at least kind of stay very close to it. So far, that's what we're doing. Let's see if price can stay within the range of this candle here that printed on August the 12th. And as long as we can hold the low of this candle, which is 23.59, which we have been able to do so far, I think there's still a possibility for this to pop higher and to get above 25.42 and start to go. Now, once we can get above 25.42, my thought process is that there's the potential for this to run to 37. All right, so let's take it one step at a time. All right, one step at a time. But if this thing can hold, I mean, there is the strong possibility that Planeteer can really get grooving real soon. But a couple things we need to do. We need to get above 25.42, then 27.38, and then boom, we're going to head towards 37 because I don't think anybody's really expecting that, to be honest. All right, let's go ahead and go back to Neo. Let's break this down from the smaller time frame. Let's take a look at the 4-hour and then the 1 hour. All right, let's see what we got. 4-hour, I'm not seeing much, just a little bit of indecision. Let me take a look at the 1. All right, in the 1 hour. The 1 hour looks a little interesting because we've printed a 1 hour Bollinger Band bottom play, right? So, we got to think about it both ways. On the daily, it's most definitely still bearish. Now, on the 1 hour, where will we be bullish here? Let me take a look at this. Probably above the close of this candle of 38.13. So I would say this. If we get above, actually, what's the close? What's the close of this candle here? 38.30. If we get above 38.30, then I'd be looking at potentially closing my puts here on Neo. Okay, at least the ones that are short term, like the ones that expire this week. because that kind of opens the door for price to move up towards 39, and then potentially 39.50, and then potentially here the upper band at 40.47, and then our contracts will probably be smoked by that point. So what we want to do is just kind of keep this one on a tight leash. I would say 38.30 is the line in the sand for me. That's when I'd probably be like, all right, yo, this trade ain't working. But as long as we can stay below 38.30, then I'm good with it. So what I'd want to see today for this trade to really work, to continue to the downside, is for us to really, close somewhere within this vicinity. It would be best if we close underneath 38, and even better, ideal, if we can close below the lower band here at 37.82. If we close below this lower band on the 1 hour at 37.82, I would expect a gap down tomorrow. But, for the most part, that's what we've been getting. So let's see if we can't get a gap down for a third day in a row. Now, what I did see, oh, yeah, my boy Sam said he's seeing that flag. It's definitely flagging for sure on the 1 hour, no doubt. Let me show you a good example of kind of the Chinese names that's been under pressure. I saw this one earlier today, and I was like, damn, this guy smacked. All right, let's take a look at this Baidu. If I could hear Sam Hunter right now, I already know he'd be saying this got smacked. All right, so let's take a look at this Baidu real quick. So you can see here's that bear flag Sam Minkin's kind of talking about, right? We flag it sideways, sideways, sideways. We finally get below the lower Bollinger Band, signaling that our trend is about to begin. And then boom, we just start gapping, right? So from this candle here, that's one gap, two gaps, three gaps, four gaps. Like it just went, right? So price closed at, what's this right here? Closed at 165, and then it was a wrap from there, right? Just straight down every day. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking for here in Neo. All right, we just need to see another gap down tomorrow. All right, I don't want this to start pulling back and to break above, what did I say, 38.30. All right, so as long as we stay below 38.30, I'm good. But I definitely set an alert there at 38.30 to remind me or to let me know that if we get above that, then this probably going to be bands would probably close that. I'd probably run that. All right, but as long as we stay underneath, there's a good possibility. One thing I saw today that kind of made me take a look twice was T. We had looked at T probably about a week or two ago for potentially a bottom play from maybe I think it was like this point here all the way up to this band, and we just never got it. What kind of happened was that price drifted sideways and eventually hit the upper band, but it just didn't go straight vertical like we were looking for it to. But it got there eventually. It took about a week. Now, this time around, I see the band squeezing even more tight. The bands are getting tight. I just want to see a close above this upper band here, and then boom, we could go ahead and snatch up some T calls again, targeting this 29 level. All right. The calls are stupid cheap. Let me go over them again. I believe they're $6-7. So this is a trade that everybody could potentially take. So let me just look at this real quick. All right, they're actually what $5-6 now. Let me break this down 1 second. There you go, between $5 to $6 for the 29s. All right, keep in mind for September 17, there's 100,000 open interest on the 30s. So definitely folks are playing this and looking for this to move up to 29 or even to 30. All right. So only thing we could do is get in position once we got a signal. We got no signal yet, so I'm not hopping into it just quite yet or calling it. But keep in mind, this one is, it's trying to develop into something. When I was looking at the uptrend scanner earlier today, I saw Verizon on the 1 hour scan list as well. So it was just interesting that AT&T and Verizon were both moving at the same time. So I thought that, maybe his money potentially moving in that particular sector. So we'll keep an eye out for that. I did want to briefly touch on the Bitcoin names. Those seem to be getting beaten up today. BTBT back at 12. Remember, 14 was that key level we were watching. Coin is at 250. I believe I believe that's where we bought it at previously before price went up to 275. So that's definitely something to be noted. Mara's getting smacked. This was just that 35. It's back to 30. Kind of the same with Riot. I think this was at 37 and it's back to 32. So definitely the Bitcoin names are under pressure. We'll continue to watch those to see if they, may find a bottom sometime soon. All right. I'm still holding my Cardano though. As far as my actual crypto, I'm still holding that. I'm pretty sure I doubled up already, but that's just the name that I'm watching as far as crypto. Okay, that boy Kendo, he asked me about what bank names would be good to play, and taking a look at Goldman Sachs, this one is holding on pretty nicely. This is definitely a beautiful bull flag. I mean, almost textbook to be honest. But we do have to, note that there is a gap right here that could be filled at any point in time. Okay, so instead of calling a call right here or calling a play, we'll wait for tomorrow. And then if price can maybe break over the high of this candle here at 408, we'll go ahead and play 415s or 420s. All right, and those will probably be cheaper. So let's take a look at those real quick, just so that you guys know which ones we're going to be looking at tomorrow. All right, and potential price range. So maybe tomorrow with Goldman Sachs, we will be looking at the August 20 415s, which are currently going for 89 cents, or the 420s that are going between 44 cents and 47. All right, so this could be a smacker. Like a couple weeks ago, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, we called 1,000% trade here on Goldman. So let's go back to the well since it's hitting, since it's working. All right. But, let's wait for the setup, though. We can see the setup developing. Let's let the play develop. Once they actually call the run play and we get over the high of this candle right here, then boom, then go ahead and step in and start to block. All right. But for now, just go ahead and just let the defense just settle on up. All right. Let the defense just settle on up. Let me see if I see anything else here that we should look at real quick. Guys, I think that's it. I'm not seeing any more requests come in through the chat as far as any other trades. Did you guys want me to take a look at anything else? I'll kind of hold up for a second and see if any more requests come through the chat line. All right, let me know. Let me just take a look here, see if there's anything else uptrending. I doubt it. All right, cool. It's really just that United Health, which is in that healthcare bucket from earlier. All right, guys. Not seeing much that I want to do here in today. Check out HD. Got it. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, this, it had earnings today. So this is one of those ones that you have to kind of watch, right? Earnings is positive. So this selling here is probably a bit, premature or, really unnecessary, to be honest, because this was a really nice earnings growth. If you take a look at the last couple of quarters, we had 265 a share, 386 a share, and now 453. I mean, that's an uptrend to me, so in the last time, it was growing like this. Look at this type of move here. So since then, we've pretty much based and gone sideways. So I would say this is nothing more than just a big ass box, to be perfectly honest. And we got to just wait or either buy dips on this. So I would say, let me draw a couple levels real quick. There's probably a level here and a level, let's see. Nope. Probably a level there. Yep. And I would say if price were to dip any further and maybe start to touch like 312 or 311.50, I would for sure be thinking about stepping into some calls here for HD. But you want to go some long-term calls though. All right, some long-term calls, like maybe even October's, bro. All right, so think about that. But give it a chance, give it an opportunity. But the selling here, I think, is nothing more than really just a reaction to earnings. Nice. Yeah, hell yeah, Sam Mickens. It's been a great week. And you're right, it's only Tuesday. And I'm telling you, like, I think this week could be stupid as far as the money making opportunities come tomorrow afternoon and then Thursday. So we just got to have, like, money available to get involved. And that's it, just be ready to hop on in. But yeah, at this point, I'm really only interested in just kind of jumping into trades that just jump out at me. I like how Pfizer's continue to show strength. The way that I would play Pfizer next, let me go over that for anybody real quick, is don't be afraid to, take that Pfizer profit off of the table. I would just close it, run that, and then I'd wait for price to get above the close tomorrow. So if we closed at 50.37 right now, I would wait for tomorrow to open, and then if price could get back above 50.37 and start to hold it, then I'd hop back in. Just a very similar way to the way that today's candle was traded, right? So I was talking to Jerome yesterday, and he was like, "Man, I really want to get back in that Pfizer. Let me know, what you thinking." So I said, "Okay." What you do, Jerome, is you take a look at the candle from August the 13th. Find out what the close of that candle is, and it was 48.48. So I said, "All right, bro. If price can move back above 48.48, you're good to step into this chart." And that's what he did. So he stepped in yesterday around 48.50, and then boom, we got lucky and he caught a 2-point move if he held it the whole way. Super solid move. But again, if you were to trade it today and you wanted to hop in, all you had to do was to wait until price got over the close of yesterday's candle, which is 48.91. And then once it did, boom, you're able to catch 50 cent. I see Netflix down here. Let me go ahead and check that out for Jerome too. Let me see what that's doing. And then, you know what? Since we're going to look at Netflix, I might as well look at Roku too, because that decides it wants to pay. Let me zoom in a bit. Netflix is looking a little interesting. I will say that. It definitely is looking interesting. Let me zoom in some. Okay. I like it on how it's setting up and developing, but it's definitely not ready. All right. So yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? It's looking healthy. It's trying to bottom. It's put in a low here on 7/23, a higher low here on August the 3rd, and a higher low here on August the 12th. So, that's all bullish, right? So we need to definitely now wait for a higher high. So the high that we're really looking for is 525 to this 525.60. If we can get above that, then boom. Now I know we're going to go to 535 or 543. All right. But until then, just continue to wait. We need to start to see some higher highs in. We got higher lows. We got 3 of those, or 2 of those at least, which is enough. But now we need to see a higher high come in for us to push higher on that. So that's my thought there on Netflix. And let's go ahead and check out Roku real quick. All right. Roku's still pretty much under pressure. Ain't nothing you could do there. Man, this was so crazy. This thing hit 490 and just did not look back, dude. That is nuts. Let me look at this. Sorry. Go back a little bit. Yeah, wow. That was just a straight, like, a bank robbery, man. That was ugly. So, what's interesting, though, is price did break above the previous day's candle, though. So maybe it is trying to start to carve out a bottom here around the 155 EMA, right? Especially around this 350 level. Maybe there's some value there as far as Roku goes. So this is one we might need to start watching as well for a potential bounce too. Let me take a look at these contracts real quick and see if they're how cheap they are. See if they're cheap enough. Let me see. Nah, not cheap enough for my taste. Not quite yet. All right. I still don't want to pay $600 for At the Money with 3 days left. I mean, come on. We could get 5 apples for that. All right, so I'm straight, and not just 5 apples, but like 5 apples with time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. Spy with a hell of a recovery back at 443, trying to get back to 444. So I'm not sure what the market is trying to tell us, but definitely want to watch that. Neo at 38.16. Let's see if it doesn't kind of reverse and turn back around after hours. Remember, if this gets above 38.30 tomorrow, then consider cutting those. And Pfizer trying to push to new highs of the day. So again, I don't give a damn. I still think Pfizer is going to take 2 rest days off after a move as big as this. Okay, love the move, definitely showing strength. But I just think tomorrow, the next 2 days, it'll probably relax a little bit. All right, that's this pattern. All right, guys, I'm not saying anything else. Does anybody want to see anything else? We got 3 minutes before the market closes. All right. I'm not seeing anything else here come up on the chat. Guys, appreciate you attending the first YouTube live. Hopefully they get better and better and smoother as we go. But if there's nothing else, I guess I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. All right. I would say, coin. We got one last one come in. Let's cover it real quick. And Sam Mickens just bought two Home Depot contracts, lottos. All right, I didn't even look at the lottos. I don't even know what those are priced at. Sam Hunter. Bro, we're in between the Bollinger Bands. I can't really tell you much here, man, to be honest. Especially with price being back under the 155 EMA. I mean, if anything, I would say, probably thinking price may fall to 230. I hope that doesn't happen because I like to get back involved in some calls real soon. But if it does, it is what it is. But if I had to guess, and just according to, how we use the Bollinger Bands, I would think that this would be a topping pattern and that price would fall back down to the lower band here at 232. So, that's probably how I'm seeing coin for right now. All right. Yeah, crazy cheap. Crazy cheap on those HDs. But hell yeah, I'm not mad at y'all for trying that either. All right, guys. It's been a beautiful day. I hope everybody was able to, walk away with some profits. And if not, definitely keep some money on the sideline because tomorrow and Thursday, I believe, are going to be load up day. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys here at the same place in the morning. All right? All right, everybody. Tesla running into the close. Yeah, fucker. We'll see where it's at tomorrow. It definitely bounced off of that lower band. You knew that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that was a nice 15-point bounce, though. Sheesh. All right, guys.